Hey, welcome to Popcorn Reviews, where we review movies while you cook your popcorn. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 1976 classic Taxi Driver by Martin Scorsese, starring a really young Robert Deniro, Jodie Foster, and Cybil Shepard. Is it really as good as everyone makes it out to be? Well, I'll tell you exactly what I think. Alright, we don't got a lot of time, so let's get right into this. Taxi Driver is a rated R movie that deals with a lot of controversial topics, such as like societal rankings and isolation and toxic masculinity. It follows Travis Bickle, a Vietnam War veteran who's barely scraping by in the low-life streets in New York, and finds a job as a taxi driver. While working as a taxi driver, he ends up creating a pretty radical view of the lower class from the people that end up coming into his taxi every single night. And also develops a fascination with a campaign manager named Betsy, played by a very young and beautiful Cybil Shepard. The rest of the film follows Bickle as he deals with rejection and just life problems, and as he struggles to find meaning in his own life and how to fit that kind of toxic masculinity image. Without a doubt, the first thing to really notice is how amazing Robert Deniro is in this movie. This movie is, in its roots, it's a character study, and he does perfect carrying the entire movie basically on his back. Not to disrespect Jodie Foster or Cybil Shepard or anyone else in the movie, but it's his movie. Another thing I love about this movie is the way that Scorsese really makes you understand Bickle, the character, and makes you think like him during the movie. You'll notice just by some of his mannerisms and the way he stares a lot in this, De Niro stares a lot in this movie, that you can tell what he's thinking just from the context and his inner monologues. This movie obviously has a bunch of very famous scenes, such as You Talking to Me and his workout scene. Obviously, since this movie was made in the 70s, it doesn't really hold up special effects wise, but I really love the effects in this movie. Even though they're really low budget, it kind of adds to the style of it. People might not always like the fact that it's a little bit of a slow burn, really, when it comes to the movie. If you're looking for an action movie, this is not it. It's not an action movie at all. The movie is psychological, and that's what really makes it good. It's a thriller. Growing up in this generation, I watched Joker before I watched this movie, and a lot of people compare the two, and it's very appropriate to, but it's completely wrong to say that they're the exact same movie. You'll definitely see the inspiration, but they're far from the exact same movie. Obviously, the endings are very different, but I'm not going to get into spoiler territory in this video. Going into this movie, I really wasn't expecting this to really stick out to me, but the cinematography is amazing. Really, what I noticed is the cinematography of the taxi itself, and just the streets of New York. It really gives New York a character. You know, it's not just a setting, it's a living, breathing entity. The people in it are a character. Okay, well, since the time is up, I'm gonna go and kind of give my final consensus about Taxi Driver. This movie's amazing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's amazing. It's a classic for a reason. It's one of Scorsese's best. Easily one of my favorite Scorsese's. And probably, it's a tough one. It's probably up there, if not my favorite De Niro movie as well. You would love this movie if you want to see classics, and obviously if you're a Scorsese fan, there's no way you're not gonna like this movie. Same goes for, there's a lot of diehard De Niro fans. You don't really come to this movie for Jodie Foster, as Iris, or you don't come for Shepard as Betsy. But they're definitely standouts. Even Scorsese's cameo is famous. There's so many things that are done right about this movie. I wouldn't suggest this movie to people who aren't, I guess, cinephile kind of type people, like really obsessed with movies, because it's definitely a slow burn. If you're okay with that, then go for it, please. I cannot recommend this movie enough, but I understand if people would not like it nowadays, you know? If you don't share that same appreciation for the older movies like that are 70s, 60s, 80s even, then you might not be all about it. However, if you looked up a video to see if you want to watch Taxi Driver, you're probably going to want to watch it. It's amazing. It's just, I keep saying the word amazing because there's really not another word to describe it. To me, I think it's a really perfect film. Even though it's not one of my personal top 20 favorite movies ever, it could definitely be argued as one of the best movies of all time. Do I think you should watch this movie? Yes. 2 thumbs up. Go watch it right now.